Now, years back, I built an Adirondack chair, and I love Adirondack chairs, but I do realize that they can be a little bit cumbersome to get in and out of. So today, I'm setting out with the goal to make the most comfortable outdoor chair. With my designs in the past, I've just kind of picked angles that I thought would be comfortable, but today, I'm going to be doing some thorough research and development, defining the proper angles and heights for a comfortable chair, which I did so by rolling out my office chair, which is adjustable, obviously, so I could find the height that I wanted it off of the ground, as well as kind of that angle of recline. And then I realized that I had a digital angle finder in my shop that I used for my table saw, and I was able to kind of lock in those angles and figure out exactly what they were. With all of those measurements taken, then we could head back to the computer and come up with a design for what I think is going to be the most comfortable chair that I've created thus far. Okay, so after a few design iterations, this is what I came up with. Essentially, the front of the seat needs to be about 18 inches up off the ground, and then the seat itself needs to be at a 10-degree slope. So this seat needs to lean back 10 degrees. Now then the back itself is 30 degrees from plumb, so this is reclined 30 degrees. But I also came up with this idea back here because I know that, like in some theater seating and whatnot, there's a little bit of a lean. Even in your car, your headrest leans forward a little bit. So we decrease that angle to 17.5 degrees up at the top so that you can rest your head. Now, the length of the back is about 25 inches and the full height of the chair is 37 inches. So not only will you have this nice lean to the seat and lean to the back, but you'll have your head supported. And hopefully this 18 inches is going to give us the height that we need to be able to easily get in and out of the chair. After putting together a cut list, I figured out all the material we're going to need for this project, which is going to be 4 2x4 8s, one 5/4 by 6 deck board that's 8 foot long, and then another one that's 10 foot long. Now the cool thing is the grand total for all of these materials is only 30 bucks. Obviously you got to throw in the cost of the screws and whatnot, but not a bad deal, and hopefully this all works out. That being said, I'm gonna get to cutting this stuff up so that we can start on the assembly. Cue the cutting. Now in this cut list, there are a few angles, and to find those, you can use a speed square if you don't have a miter saw, but say you need 10 degrees. So we've gone ahead and marked 10 degrees on our speed square, and then you just want to pivot about the point that you want to cut from and line that 10 degrees up with the edge of your board. And then you can strike a line on this side, and that is going to give you a 10-degree line. Okay, I found some shade, so I'm gonna go ahead and get stain on all of these boards before we assemble them. Normally this is my wife's job, but today I'm gonna give it a go. Let's see how it turns out. Well, I got it done, but I am definitely a pretty messy stainer, so we'll go get cleaned up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the assembly. I've got a little rough schematic here of how this all comes together, but essentially we're gonna start by assembling the sides, or like the arms of the chair first. And for that, we're gonna need 2 of the 36-inch boards, 36-inch board, and then 2 25-inch. Now for the assembly of all of this, I am going to be using Simpson Strong-Tie's DSV wood screws. And again, these come in black and tan. Obviously, I'm going to be using black for this project just to try and hide them within this black stained wood. So let's go ahead and get these legs attached now. For the next piece of this puzzle, we're going to be using this angled board, and I've got to measure where the front of this needs to be. All right, so that is going to be kind of more or less the arm of the chair, and we just got to make another one of these, kind of the mirrored extent of this. Now, if you want to build one of these chairs yourself, I've actually put together some plans so you can do just that. And if you want to get those, all you got to do is click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Okay, I've got the two sides of my chair, and now I'm gonna connect those together with the front and the back pieces. These are gonna be 21 inches in length, and we'll simply screw this all together, and then we'll have a rough frame. I'm gonna go ahead and get my screws started. All right, now we got this other side in place. I get my screws started on here first. All right, we got a rough frame built, and now we need to measure out where the back is gonna go. So I've got some measurements in my little schematic back here. The front of this point, this is this board, and this is gonna kind of go like this. Actually, be better or easier if we set this on its side. So, from here to here. So I let the stain dry overnight, and apparently it hasn't completely dried. So hopefully we're not messing this thing up too much, but we'll get it assembled and hope for the best. All right, now we're starting to look like a chair. I've gone ahead and laid this thing kind of on its back. And the reason being is I've got to attach these little angles. I cut these little angles to give us that headrest support that I was talking about earlier. And now we just need to kind of line these up and hope that this wood doesn't split. Now we'll see if we can't sneak a couple in the back here for a little extra. All right, all we got left to do is just put all our seat slats, which are these 5/4 deck boards, screw those in place, and project should be done. Now, while I'm doing that, I want to take a minute to thank our sponsor for this project, Simpson Strong Tie. If you didn't see my pergola video, I used their Sage system to build this whole pergola, as well as I've been using their DSV wood screws for all of these projects going into this pergola area. The Sage system and the DSV wood screws have been great. Obviously, they've got a ton of products. The screws are load rated and they don't require any pre-drilling, and I've actually really grown to enjoy working with these products. So if you want to learn more, I'll have links in the description, but let's get back to the project. All right, for the seat, we've got the 24-inch long boards, and then for the back, they're only 21 inches. Now, these slats are going to be spaced a 1/2 inch apart. I went ahead and cut some scrap spacer blocks so that I can get everything nice and lined up. Now, this project, just to let you know, is actually going to be for my buddy again. If you guys have been following along in this little mini series, we built a pergola for a friend of mine, and we also did some other things, built a grill cart in our most recent video. But this chair is actually going to be going over there to kind of add to that whole setup. So I've got another little surprise in store, but once we get this done, we'll head over there, see how things are coming together. So I was just thinking as I put these slats in, if you guys haven't seen the grill cart video, I should have kind of done the contrast. I could have gotten these deck boards in a cedar tone and then did the black frame with the cedar slats. I think that would have looked sharp. I think we're gonna stick with the black on black. Now to prop the first board up in the back, I'm just gonna be using 2 of these deck boards on each side. That should get me to where I need to be. Snug. We're a little snug here in the back. This is interesting. Whoa, that didn't work out like I was planning. Oh, okay. We gotta do this a little differently. This has actually got to come down to here. So I've got to take these off and slide everything down a little bit. This spacing that I was counting on was not correct, because what's going to happen is headrest is going to extend off the top. But what the heck? I'm going to give it a go. Let's see how comfortable this really is. Oh, yeah, that's nice. All right, let's fix these slats. and then we'll be off, he says. Why that was so falling. All right, there we are. Now we're in the right spot. I go with a little shorter screw for the top because we don't have much material back here for it to grab into. These are 1 5/8", and that should be plenty. Oh, all right, well, I'm sweating now. Okay, got my slats in. Man, this is comfortable. I like this. Not bad. It's just the right width. Got some arm support, some head support if I want to lean back a little bit. But it's not, you know, all the way back. I like the little incline on the headrest. Overall, I think this is a great chair. And for 30 bucks in lumber, like, this is super cheap. All right, let's get this over to Dave's and kind of see how that project is coming together. Got a little surprise for him. All right, so here is our chair's new home. And it looks pretty good, but honestly, I think we need another one. So let's try this. That was cool. Can I try? Sure. All right, here we go. That's the smokeless fire pit from Brio. Yeah, the problem that I'm seeing here is that this ground is not necessarily level. So we might need to get to work on that. So with our pea gravel down, obviously this stuff moves around like crazy as soon as you walk on it. So what I'm going to be using is actually a product called Easy Hold. And if you're not familiar, this is just a rock and mulch binder. So it's like that rock glue or mulch glue that you've seen where you can lay this all over or spray this all over the surface and it's just going to lock everything into place. So I've gone ahead and read the instructions, which seem pretty simple. Essentially you spray it. So we're gonna mix it up in the sprayer or just pour it into the sprayer. And then you rake it around to expose some of the untouched stone. And then you spray it again and you can kind of compact it and get it nice and level. Once all of that is done, then we're going to allow this to dry for 12 to 36 hours. And then we'll come back and put a top coat on everything. And that will really make it last. So, and make it nice and hard so we can walk on this with no issues. Just try not to get this all over ourselves. All right, so we sprayed and then we raked and then we're spraying again. But interesting point on this, this is the company that makes this stuff is also the same company that we used for the Vuba stone out at the lake house. This was a patio that we put in, and that's kind of, this is like the DIY friendly version of that. We did a really cool patio out at the lake house. So if you're interested in a little more upscale version of this, go ahead and check that video out. I'll make sure to link it above. Okay, so this is day 2, and honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. Again, I haven't done this before. It's a little soft. They're definitely firmer than they were before because I can walk on it and not really leave much of an indent. But this is hopefully ready for this 3rd coat. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this top coat on top of it and try not to put too much pressure on the stone. But we'll go ahead and get this top coat on it, the final coat, which again, I think you can continue to add coats of this glue on top of it for some increased hold. So we'll go ahead and get that Easy Hold in the sprayer and lay on that final coat. All right, so we got the chairs done and in place with the fire pit. And we're going to get Dave out here and see what he thinks. Now, as far as the patio goes, I've kind of got to fix this in the next video. And you guys will go into more detail about what I did wrong and how I'm going to fix it. But let's see what he thinks. This is what it will look like. this goes on top of it.
Holy shit.
So this is, obviously you'll have your fire pit back here, but then you've got
Dude, that's
your pizza oven. And up in the back of there, there's an opening so the flame will kind of go up
Yep.
and over top of
So
it.
you do like char.
Yeah, isn't that cool though?
That is
I like
awesome.
this look, and that's what that will eventually look like. But you got your thermostat over here and everything.
Oh, that's so dope. And this is what the patino down here will look like.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. So you got your pizza peel, and then this is just like a serving tray.
Right.
And then you've got your pizza rocker.
Oh, dude. How sweet is that?
Yeah. So this is their outpost thing. Yeah. So that locks it in there like that. I guess maybe
that's
this
like
is
for the ground.
Oh, I bet it is for the ground.
Yeah.
Shove it in the ground over like a campfire or something.
Yeah.
This is your little grilling attachment.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. How cool is that?
This is a heat deflector. So you can put this on here and that will, you know how most fire pits, like the heat just goes straight up.
Yeah.
Whereas this
push it
will
out.
push it out.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Dude, we're gonna have to get a fire going.
yeah. You get
That's
some-
pretty sweet.
That is cool.
That pizza, yeah.